Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. Today we are taking delivery of this brand new Boeing 737-800 conversion. It is in Renton, Washington, at the Boeing conversion factory, and we're taking delivery of it, flying it over to the UK. This is going to be done in two legs. First leg is today we are flying it up to Iqaluit, what used to be called Frobisher Bay in northern Canada, up in the Baffin Islands. And the next flight we'll be taking it from there off to the base down in England. And that will be where we are dropping off. And then we have a second one we've got to come back over and do as well. So today's leg is going to get it up to northern Canada. We'll see how we get along with that and see how we do. So the weather here, as you can see, is kind of drizzly, overcast, and raining. But it shouldn't be a problem. We're looking at about 4.5 hour flight. So let's get down there, get the aircraft set up and ready to go. Of course, it's going to be empty, so it should be pretty good that way. I'll see you in the cockpit. Alright, welcome to the cockpit. We'll start getting her set up. And I won't put you through everything as we program it, but we'll just do the beginnings. We'll make sure the parking brakes on the aircraft are set on, and then we'll pop upstairs. Battery on, standby power is set to auto, and emergency exit lights are on. We'll make sure our ground power is connected, which we do not have, so we'll tell the guys downstairs to please hook that up for us. And as soon as that is in, we'll be able to turn on the ground power. There we go. So ground power is now on. And we'll get the dome light on so we can see what we're doing. There we go. And those panel lights turned up a bit as well. Alright, so I'm going to go through setting up the aircraft, and I'll get a hold of you. We're going to be starting on the stand. So once we get everything done, and just before start, I'll show you the route, and then we'll get the engines up and running. Alright, we're just about ready for engine start here. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and doing a check. It's closer to a 5-hour flight, but that's okay. I'll bring up the, I've got the chart up so you can see where we are. We're down here in Renton, Washington, just south of the Canadian border. We're going to fly east a bit across the Rockies, and we're going to head northeast out the bottom edge of Alberta, over Saskatchewan, northern Manitoba, and we're going to arc up over the top of Hudson Bay, as you can see, coming in here to Iqaluit, where we're going to be landing on the ILS, hopefully 3-4 unless the weather changes. We'll come in, pass overhead the airfield, do the turnaround, and then come in and land. So that is the flight for today.
58 Alpha, 6,000.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to start the engines on the stand. I'm then going to come this way, exit out to the runway, and we're going to backtrack all the way down to the far end, turn around, and then we'll be taking off to the south. So let's get our engines ready to go. We'll come up top, we'll get the fuel pumps on, and we have fuel in all of the tanks, so we'll get them all on. And then I'm going to come over here and get a better view. From here, we'll turn off the packs.
Seattle Center 473, or the Skyhawk 7340 Tango, Hamilton 11,000.
Skyhawk 7340 Tango, Seattle Center, the Redmond altimeter 3002.
3002, 40
Start
Tango.
switch to ground, and I'll add the fuel. Let's go listen to her start up. go. So she's up and running. We'll now start engine number 1, and we'll monitor it from the inside. So engine 1 over to ground start. Start valve come open. Low oil pressure is reading. We now have N1 rotation. There she goes. We're going to add fuel for engine 1. We've got fuel flow. EGT is rising. It's looking good. Low oil pressure warning has gone off. EGT continuing to rise. Engine continuing to spin up. Fuel flow is stable. She's just getting herself up to a nice idle. Start switch is off. That's good. Now she's going to just nicely stabilize for us. Alright, let's get a little bit of light here on the main panel. So we can nicely see what we're doing. It's all looking good. Alright, so that's engine 1 and 2 are up. We can come up top now.
From 920 Tango, contact Seattle Center 132.6.
And generators 1 and 2 are coming online. We'll come over here and check, make sure we have power. Power is good. We'll leave that on generator 1. Engine 1 and 2 start switches will go to continuous. Probe heats will come on. Anti-ice not required. Engine 1 and 2 bleeds are on. Packs will come back on. Turn the recirculation fans to auto. Isolation valve will go to auto. APU bleed off. APU will be turned off. And we'll come down here. So it is a flaps 1 for takeoff. So flaps go to position number 1. And takeoff speeds are verified. 109, 109, and 124. This is through the VAST Toolkit Performance Calculator. I'm going to try these numbers and see how they do. I know it's giving us different ones in the program, but we'll see what happens. We're next going to do the elevator trim. It wants about 5 1/4. So we're at 4 currently. We'll roll that back. It's 5 1/4. Flight controls, systems page. So full left, full right, neutral, full forward, full back, neutral, left rudder,
2483,
right rudder,
50 knots.
Neutral, engine instruments, everything is looking good. Put it up here on the screen. We are going to be going to LNAV and VNAV for the departure. I'm going to dial
American 1848
initial 12,000 feet for our takeoff. We have our runway heading and our V2 speed set. Auto throttle is now coming online. Warning recall is clear. Taxi light is on. The logo light on as well. And auto brakes are set for rejected takeoff. Alright, we're going to taxi out and I'll see you when we're ready to go. Alright, we're lined up and pretty much ready to go, so we'll just make sure everything is good. Position lights are over to strobe and SETI. Taxi lights off, turn off lights are on, landing lights are on. Put the wing lights on as well. Transponder is on TARA. Alright, runway is identified. And the clock is ticking. Bring the engines up to 40%. Brakes released. Takeoff power set.
Airspeed alive.
We're accelerating very quickly since we are empty.
Rotate.
Just pulling back.
Positive rate of climb.
Let's gear up. We're going to go heading level change, autopilot on. Currently on runway heading. And as we go through
Seattle, Gulfstream 240 Golf Alpha
2,000 feet, we'll switch over to
Gulfstream 240 Golf Alpha,
Normie,
Seattle Center,
and then we can go LNAV
altimeter
and
3005.
VNAV.
6,000 Golf Alpha.
Speed's coming down as we move into our climb mode. Nose is coming down for acceleration.
Caravan 0 Juliet Alpha, contact Portland approach 118.1.
118.1,
Okay.
And we're through flaps up speed, so flaps coming up. Accelerating to 250 knots. And we're going to continue our climb out. Switch this over to 41,000 feet. That's what we're going up to. Again, we're extremely light, so we can go nice and high. Get that fuel economy for higher altitudes. Oh, looking good. A little bit of traffic around us. I am using FSF LTL to provide traffic in the area. So hopefully we'll be able to get some views of some other traffic. They're all probably going into Seattle. And it looks like we're coming up to the tops of the cloud. Alright, so takeoff is complete, autopilot is on, auto brake is selected off, gears selected off, engine start switches can now come off, runway turn-off lights are off, we are through 10,000 feet, so the landing lights will come off. Logo light will come off, wing lights will come off. We'll leave the strobes and collision lights. It's all good. Cabin is pressurizing normally. Yep, through the clouds. We'll switch over to standard pressure. Should be in inches of mercury. And that's about it. Now we're just going to continue our climb out. And the mountains off to the sides. We'll get some views as we go. But next time we talk, we'll be briefing for our arrival into Iqaluit. So we'll see you there.
Western 166, one ready to descend, flight level 290. Ready, flight level 290, Western 166. Western 166, you can contact us now 13205. 3205, Western 166, yeah. Western 432, contact Winnipeg Central 133.1 today. 133.1. Renton 3 and 036 Delta.
Oh, hello, welcome back to the flight deck. We're descending now through 13,000 feet. The airport is on the bay ahead. Most of it's frozen, but there's a little bit of open water out there. We're descending down to the YFY NDB. That is going to be our turn point to head south. We're going to loop around and then come back in for the ILS. So we're really close. So we've gone through the weather. The winds are currently 300 at 7 knots. Visibility is fine. A few clouds in the area. It is minus 24 degrees. We are up in, well, almost up in the Arctic Circle, not quite. So we're pretty far up. And QNH of 2985. So interesting thing on the weather. First time I've ever seen it. It's giving us the clouds and everything. I have rolled the time back, or else we'd be landing in the middle of the night, given the time I'm actually flying this. But the actual METAR tells us that the Aurora Borealis is out, so it's in the weather forecast, and the weather reporting, which is pretty interesting. I don't think the sim models it, but we might be seeing the Aurora at night here if it was, so that is pretty cool. Anyway, we're heading right for the airport. You can see it right down there, and we're now slowing down to 250 knots. So we're going to come out this way, we're going to head down, turn around, and then come back in for the ILS.
I'll be home.
So I'm going to go over and take over on the speed. We're going to bring our speed down to 250 knots. Go. Hold that there as we come in. We do have our programmed points we have to be at, so that's all good. So it should work rather well. We're actually going to come back to 245. Because 250 in this aircraft, we can go to 5 degree of flaps. So that's what we're going to do. We'll let the speed come back a little bit. I'll use the speed brake. Bring us down to that 245. We'll 250, and we'll go to 5 degrees of flaps.
Yeah, that's good. So 12000 16000. Clear 1216000.
Flaps 2 now. And that'll help with speed control as we continue to descend.
Fine.
There's our turn. You can see the bay here is still pretty frozen until we get a bit further down with the open water. And there's flaps 5. So we're going to follow this line out, and then we'll do the turnaround up here at the far end for the ILS. And we're heading down to 2,100 feet for the capture. So looking good. So we're below 10,000 feet, so the landing lights will come on, and we'll put on our turn-off lights, mogul light, and our wing lights will come on as well. Anti-ice not required, no visible icing seen. So our nav course and frequency are all entered. We have the ILS frequency of 1099 is entered in. I've got the local VOR of 1174 in. That is the green arrow, and I've got the ADF. We just flew over the YFY is the blue ADF line. This is references. We're going to arm our speed brakes for landing. Approach mode will arm once we come around the corner here. We're good as we descend down. So we're now going to bring our speed down to 200 knots. We do have a reference speed of 6, so that'll be a landing speed of 121. And once we're below 210 knots, we can go to 10-degree flaps. So here goes the turn. Speed's coming back. We're showing the localizer now.
Empire 4, Iqaluit Radio, good afternoon.
And there's 209 knots, so flaps 10. Got a nice descent. You can see the terrain we have here. Looking very rough. And
Fire
very
4,
arctic
Iqaluit
still.
Radio,
As I said, it's
wind 350
our
at
true air
Yankton,
temperature
gusting
is
24,
minus 16. It's reporting minus
2981.
24 on the ground, as I mentioned. Low of minus 27 overnight.
Palm Beach Center, IAC. It has squawk 5213 on it. Can you squawk 5213?
Alright, we're just about to do our turnaround, and there she goes. Starting out, bring the speed down to 185.
For Iqaluit Radio, I see you now. Squawk right in.
Looking very desolate. And the airport's back up this way. You can just make out the lights up there.
Empire 4, Iqaluit Radio. About your ident. We have drifting snow today and snow showers in the vicinity. The visibility off to the north now is about 3 miles.
Alright, so we're heading out, so we're going to arm our VOR localizer. That'll get our lock on to the signal there. Should start us turning. There we go. Localizer's coming in.
Empire 4, Iqaluit Radio, Roger.
And I'm going to increase our descent rate a little bit. We'll take it up to about 1,000 feet per minute. Make sure we come in under the glide slope. We're good with terrain. There's the glide slope there. It's coming in now, so we'll arm approach mode. And we're going to go for auto brakes 2. Speed brake is armed. And we are 14 miles out. Everything else is looking good. Winds are almost straight down the runway. They'll be slightly off, I think, to the left by the time we get down. Ease off that descent a little bit now, bring her back to 800 feet. Let us slowly catch up to the glide slope. It's 2,500 feet. There's 10 miles coming up. 2,000 feet, we're going to drop the gear. It's 2,000 feet. Gear down, we're going 200 knots. So flaps 15. Gear down 3 green.
Empire 4, Iqaluit radio, Rudder.
Speed can come back to 165. And again, we're going for a 121 for our final approach speed. We'll set that at 6 miles out. We're going to go flaps 25 once we're below 190, which we are, so flaps 25. Leveling off at 2,100 feet. It's coming over the last of the terrain features.
Ferry forward, downwind, runway 34.
Four, Iqaluit radio, Roger.
Coming up for glide slope capture. Glide slope capture. There we go. Heading downhill. There's 6 miles, so we're going to go to 121 knots. Again, the reason this is so low is because we're an empty freighter and we're light as a feather. So we're below 175 knots, so we can go flaps 30.
Iqaluit radio.
Speed coming back nicely.
Iqaluit radio, stop 26 requesting runway
Airport is in
134
sight.
via taxiway Delta.
Flaps 30 set, and we are
One aircraft inbound.
through 130 with
Roger,
flaps
stop
full.
26 holding short on the apron.
So lights are on. Speed brakes armed, auto brakes armed, gear down 3 green, flaps full. Recall is clear.
4 right there,
We're good for landing.
Empire 4,
See the
Iqaluit
community
radio, Roger.
off to the right on the bay there, and then the airport. I think the elevation of the airport is about just over 100 feet. We have set our landing elevation now to 100 feet for landing. As soon as we're down, we'll get the APU on to make sure we got heat coming into the aircraft. 1,000 to go. 3.5 miles. I did want to do this flight in the day so we could see everything. Real time now, it would be somewhere around midnight. We'd be landing here, and at this time of year, they only get a few hours of dark. You can see the scattering effect because of the snow in the air and the cold. It's pretty cool. At 600 feet, we're over the water, so that's going to be the radar altimeter down to the ice. .500 feet. I have control.
And Empire 4, backtracking runway at 34.
Getting a little slightly off center. so
Empire 4, Iqaluit radio, Roger.
correcting. A little high.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Landing. Auto throttles are off.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
She's going to float a little because she is empty. There we go. Reverse green, auto brakes on. It's 80 knots. 60 knots, reversers off.
Radio, flight plan is
Auto brakes
closed and alerting
disengaged.
service is terminated.
We're going to get off here at Alpha and taxi back to the ramp.
Roger. Brake stats 6 Cal radio. Proceed up to runway 1634.
Fast 26 proceeding.
Oh, welcome to Iqaluit. We'll get around the corner here. There we go. All right. So, APU on, spoilers disarmed, flaps disarmed, landing lights. There we go, retracted. They can come off, turn off lights on, wing lights off, logo lights off, APU start. I'm also going to come down here, transponder to standby. And these buildings do kind of look like the ones that you would find here. Now we don't have any assigned gates. We're just going to go park it up in front of the red terminal building there. So this city, or town, used to be called Frobisher Bay. That's where the YFB VOR comes from. But it's been renamed Iqaluit in the native Innu language. And it is the capital of the Nunavut territory, which is the easternmost of the northern Arctic territories. There's Nunavut, Northwest Territories, and then the Yukon, which borders Alaska. That's it. All right, so we're going to turn in here. Parking bay says 5. Let's get her around. You can see her tail there. There's the name, Iqaluit. Let's see how this does here. Can you give us parking spot 5, please?
Radio coverage at 462.
There we go.
This is 462
That's the view we want.
Cali radio coverage at 462, 8.3, requesting IO power to Mirabel off 34.
Courage at 462, ADC clears Courage at 462 to the Mirabel Airport.
And we are here.
58 north, 072 west.
So we'll get our brakes on. We'll come up overhead now. Put on the APU generators. The APU bleeds. We'll shut off those bleeds.
Clear Mirabel Airport to Iqaluit 7 departure.
And we're going to come down now. Request our
flight plan route off runway 34.
chocks, please, and our ground power.
Read back correct.
Oh, it looks cold out there. Come back up top. Ground power is now available. Alright, so the aircraft is now switched over to ground power. And we can turn off the engine. So the fuel control levers are off. Collision light will come off. Nav lights will go to steady. Ground equipment is coming in. So we'll shut off the fuel pumps. Isolation valve will open up. And flight directors go off. We'll clear the cautions. I can now come over here, waiting for the engines to spool down. And we'll get a set of stairs here. There we go. And that's us here in leg one of the first ferry flight. Alright, so as they're bringing the stairs in for us, I want to thank you all for joining us. And I hope we'll see you on the next flight when we fly the aircraft from here over to our final destination base, which is going to be, I believe, we're going to London, Stansted, direct from here. So we'll see you then. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. See you on the next one.